story developing out of Pakistan that really almost defies belief. So I'll walk you guys through this. Roll F2 here. Incredible amounts of violence unfolded outside of Lahore this week. These are policemen chasing down a pro-Palestine protester, trying to shoot him in the back. There's much worse video that has emerged online, though very, very little has been reported about this anywhere, whether it's Pakistan media, which is entirely locked down, or around the world. We are hearing that the death count could well be over 1,000 people, and just try to sit with the extent of the massacre that we're talking about here. Before we get into the details, the context here is that this started right around the exact same time that Pakistan's Prime Minister, Shehbaz Sharif, was in Egypt with the rest of the Arab and Muslim countries celebrating the ceasefire deal. And these things are not disconnected at all. Shehbaz Sharif is in power because they flagrantly stole the election back in February of 2024 and have Imran Khan in prison. The United States has been dangling the threat of supporting the release of Imran Khan to basically corner Pakistan's military. Pakistan's military is currently in control. They operate through Shehbaz Sharif, but they operate at the blessing and the courtesy of the United States, which at any moment could basically signal you have to let Imran Khan out. And so Pakistan's military basically is doing anything the United States wants as a result. So let's roll just to understand what's happening in Egypt while this extraordinary violence is unfolding in Pakistan. Let's roll F6.
Prime Minister Sharif of Pakistan, and also I have to say my favorite field marshal from Pakistan, who's not here, but the Prime Minister is here, and you're going to give his regards. Where are you? There you go. Thank you very much. Do you want to say what you said to me the other day? Come, would you like to say what you said the other day? I think it was so nice.
Pakistan had nominated President Donald Trump for Nobel Peace Prize for his outstanding, extraordinary contributions to first stop war between India and Pakistan, and then achieve ceasefire along with his very wonderful team. And today, again, I would like to nominate this great president for Nobel Peace Prize, because I genuinely feel that he is the most genuine and most wonderful candidate for Peace Prize, because he has brought not only peace in South Asia, saved millions of people, their lives.
So Shehbaz Sharif is kind of infamous in Pakistan for those obsequious and kind of embarrassing speeches that he gives to people like Trump or Gulf leaders, or basically anybody that Pakistan needs money from or needs political cover from. But so the party in question here is known in Pakistan, that was the victim of this massacre, known as the TLP. So TLP are basically a product of the Pakistan military over the years. So when you have a military dictatorship, in order to kind of stay in power over the decades, they create all of these different political factions that have some tiny bit of independence, but are effectively run either by the ISI or the Pakistan military or both. And TLP is one of them. And TLP these are hardcore far-right religious fundamentalists that could be deployed, for different, strategic or tactical reasons by the Pakistan military. And so to say that there are not a lot of good guys in this story would be an understatement. Like usually when the TLP is out there protesting, it's to try to get somebody executed for having an affair or having a nose ring or something. Like not the kind of people that make sympathetic figures in to Western liberals like myself, for instance. Yet, so the TLP was deployed here to protest against the Gaza war and to protest a little bit about Pakistan getting a little closer to Israel and hinting at some type of normalization here. Saad Rizvi, who's the head of the TLP, announced his protests during his Friday prayers. But then you might be thinking, wait a minute, TLP, which is a creation of the Pakistan military, is going to be protesting against Pakistan? Like, what on earth is going on here? And this is where it gets so diabolical. And what I'm going to share is basically our analysis, but it's highly informed by people with serious knowledge about what's going on here. So why on earth would the military encourage protests against itself? Well, one is obvious. On the geopolitical stage, it would be a way to tell the U.S., like, don't push us too hard when it comes to like normalization with Israel, because look, we've got problems back at home.
Oh, okay.
That's only one little part of it, though. I think what's really going on goes back to this November 26th, 2024 protest in support of Imran Khan. You had thousands of people come out into the streets, we covered it here, saying, free Imran Khan. The security forces massacred huge numbers of people. And we published here like exclusive video and other documents that we had got that showed the extent of the massacre and also that it was planned and organized ahead of time by the security services. That this was not something that got out of hand. They deliberately instigated this, and the violent crackdown basically wiped out public protest on behalf of Imran Khan. And so I think the military we know for a fact that they saw this as a success. So what they did is they're playing that card again, but this time with the TLP, trying to get them under control. So what they're signaling here is that if we do move forward, as we move forward with better relations with Israel under pressure from the U.S., there will be no protesting against this. And so it was Monday morning, and you can roll. I think it's you're gonna just roll this as I'm talking here. Some of the footage that did emerge out of Pakistan. So the march was supposed to go initially to Lahore. With negotiations, they were able to persuade the marchers to move instead to Meridki, which is a town kind of north of Lahore, where there's less base of support for the TLP. And you then have this outbreak of shooting and shelling. One person said they saw more than 600 bodies on the ground, like absolute carnage. Saad Rizvi sent a negotiating team, before this broke out, to try to settle this. That negotiating team was arrested. He organized another negotiating team, sent them in. It happened anyway. Right up until the violence started, he was pleading for this not to go down. We understand that the decision had already been made that they were going to carry out this violent crackdown to send this signal that there will be no pushback against this. The fact that we did find some coverage of it in Pakistan media, which is aligned with the military, so like controlled by the military, and that really tells you a lot, because it's like, okay, if they are allowed to report on this, and this is where we saw the interview with somebody saying that's more than they saw 600 bodies. Like, why is the Pakistan military allowing that to be aired? Because it's a signal. In other words, what good is a spectacular display of violence against protesters if you don't tell the country about it? So they're very carefully balancing the amount of information that gets out about this massacre so that everyone in Pakistan knows that it happened, so that they understand you will not protest for Palestine, but not so much gets out that there's international pressure on them, that there's international condemnation of it. And that's a very tight rope to walk.
It seems to have worked.
So far, they're walking it. This was Monday, today's Wednesday. But it's still going on. So after the massacre in the streets, you started having house raids of all these TLP people, which again, like, it's interesting because a lot of Pakistanis don't like TLP. They're like, these guys are thugs and goons. And like, they're mobs that go around like stoning people. Like, so we don't have any sympathy for them. As one person I talked to said, this is the first time they protested something good, and also the first time they get massacred, or did something good. And so that's where we are now. Very like, and they are walking the rope. Like there is right now. This is basically the only coverage. We'll have a story at Dropsite about this. This is basically the only coverage that you're seeing around the world of this massacre that could be like more than 1,000 people getting killed. That is a ton of
It's
people.
usually a huge story.
Like reports about bodies just getting thrown into trucks and doused with chemicals. Like it's horrifying, and it's deeply horrifying to think that something like this can happen and nobody even knows about it.
Actually, while you're talking, Ryan, I'll get your live reaction. The Pakistani Air Force carried out a wave of airstrikes against Taliban-affiliated sites and military